Hello, everyone, and welcome to We're Golden, a Golden Bachelor recap hosted by two golden women. I'm Kim Hodges, Content Kim, and I'm 60, and this is
Jodi Harrison Bauer, age 63.
And we're here to give you the baby boomer insight to an American favorite show, The Golden Bachelor. And this was the final show tonight. So it was a
big
juicy, good one. Yes.
Oh my God. I'm exhausted from all of this.
I know.
It's like, wow.
I think, and wow, because there was a whole lot of things that went on today, like that article that came out, and then we got to interview Peggy. So it was kind of like we had a little bit of everything.
It was a busy day. Yeah. Should we talk about the article real fast? I think we should.
Okay.
It was in the Hollywood Reporter.
Yes, there were two of them. One was in the Hollywood Reporter, which I don't know anything about the Hollywood Reporter. Do you?
Neither do I. Nope.
But the other one was in Marie Claire.
Mm-hmm. I didn't get to read that one. Oh, yes, I did. I did get to read it, but basically you're better at summarizing things than I am. Go ahead.
Here's the whole thing. Maybe all of the timing. So they say in the article, like his business past is not as he stated on the show, but I think it's the timeline of how they had him stating it on the show. So I was kind of like, when I was reading the article to my husband, I was like, we're going to give him the benefit of the doubt on that part, because that part, they may have said, oh, you don't need to tell all that. Just tell him that you were this or that or whatever. And then he's stuck with that story the whole time, because maybe it was too convoluted to explain that he went on to be a handyman here and a this and that there.
Well, I think when they referred to his retirement age, I think it was from the longest gig he had, right? Owning that restaurant.
Well, that was early on. That was back in 1985. He sold that restaurant in 1985.
Oh, and then he had those odd jobs.
Yes, but when were all the other jobs that he talked about? They made it sound like they were all kind of like, and the last thing he did was the
restaurant.
Restaurant
right.
thing.
And they went hard with that story, because his first date with Theresa was at a diner, which was like what his restaurant was. It was like a quickie burger place.
Mm-hmm. But the part about, okay, he started dating a girl that worked at one of the places that he was like the handyman for.
Right.
But a month after his wife died. And Joe, my husband, said, it's not like his wife had a terminal illness and was sick for a really long time. She just up and died in a week. Like, that was a devastating thing. You're not going to be dating a month later. That's weird.
I agree. Yeah. I thought that too. I agree with your husband.
So that's a huge flag. But then all the story went on to tell about how he kind of treated her, which it was sort of the begging her to move in. I can't live without you. I think about you in the evening, in the morning, and all the lines that he's been saying on the show. And then he's like, well, you're not going with me to my high school reunion looking like that, because she'd gained some weight. And then he was like, okay, you got to move out. So it did not look good for him, if all that's true. But it is just one person's story, even though it sounded like they talked to a ton of people who all agreed. I mean, he lives in a little town.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And
Peggy, she moved in with him.
Right. She moved from Iowa to Indiana to be with him. She got another job. She left her job as a clerk, right?
Yeah.
Like as I'm doing accounting work at a I'm going to say old age home, but
assisted living or independent living.
Right.
Okay. But so then he said, you have to pay $1,000 a month to live with me. And she talked him into $850.
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
It is. So we should see. And so one of the things that you thought from the very beginning, and you said this a lot, was Gerry and his love bombing. You nailed that at the very beginning. From like episode 2, you were like, I think he's a love bomber. I think he's a love bomber. And then we talked about, well, maybe I think this way because this is how I think of men, because of this reason. And then you sort of changed your idea. I agreed with you with the love bombing. You felt more strongly about it. And I think at the end, with what he did to Leslie, he made himself out to be a man of integrity. And I actually thought she was going to pull when she said, I fell in love with you. One of the reasons I fell in love with you was because you are a man of integrity. I've never met a man of integrity before. And then I thought she said, but you're not. But she
But
didn't say that.
she didn't. You're not the only one. I got a text. It was like, well, why didn't she say that you don't have any integrity?
I know, because that exactly what she was saying is that you blindsided me. You told me
Yeah.
one thing, but your actions did something else.
Yeah.
And that happens in the real world. We understand that.
And
But he
we
was love bombing her. That's the point.
he was. And even though Jason Tartick on our interview with him said, when you're caught up in the moment, and I'm going to go to bat for Gerry, is what he said, you
Mhm.
do think you're in love with both these people. You really do think you're in love. And I get that. It's like if you're in a pageant or a cheer competition, like it's your whole world. That's all you can see is this little bubble. And they're doing it for 2 or 3 months or however long, and they don't talk to anyone else, and they don't have their phone, and they all have to go to bed at the same time. Like there's nothing you get to do by yourself. And then, but still, you would in your mind go, I can't tell this person I love him and then go tell this person I love him. You would think that's a no-no.
It is a no-no. It
Yes.
is a no-no. Right. And I know that there are other bachelors that have been criticized for doing that. And I think that everybody who's watching the show, who watched the show, is letting him off pretty easily. However, when he was talking to Leslie in the room, the whole audience was like, "Ooh," like they were not, they did not like him in that moment at all.
No,
I
and
think
did when he did the minute he started talking, didn't you just kind of want to go, okay, talk to the hand because you are so full of shit. I don't want to hear another word out of your mouth.
when he talked tonight, yes,
Yes.
yes, absolutely. I just wanted her to say her piece and then say, now zip it.
Yeah.
Right? She should have said, now
Yes.
zip it. I don't even want to hear your excuses. And I was so happy that she said, I don't accept your apology, but I forgive you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a little weird. I would have said, I don't accept your apology, and it's going to take me a while to forgive you. She showed her anger very well, though. She did not hide it. She was angry.
She was angry, and I thought that was good, especially when
Me
she
too.
said, don't tell me what to think. I can think what the fuck I want to think. I
I
wanted to go, yay.
know. I know. That
Yeah.
was so good.
So I didn't like her all along. Remember, I just didn't like her.
Mhm.
She bugged me because I thought she kind of has a little bit of a downer, kind of a wham wham. And she did kind of show that at the end when she was like, nobody loves me kind of thing. But I liked, she showed more strength then than she did the
Did.
whole show.
That was her moment of stepping into her power. She used her voice, and maybe that will take her confidence up, take it up to another level where she can go out. I didn't believe her words when she said, now I know that I can go out and I deserve to meet the person that I deserve a great man. But I didn't really feel she meant it. Yeah, I hope that she does get to that point where she really does feel it for
I agree
herself.
with that. Yeah.
And I felt a little sorry for her. I felt bad for her. She's very, very
Well, she said, I put myself out there like
yeah.
I never do this.
And you got to give her a lot of credit for doing that. She's like, I'm going to take the risk. I'm going to go do it. I'm going to show who I am. And my heart just broke for her when she was just talking about, you saw me, you chose me,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know, and we've all gone through that. And we know people who have gone through it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
heartbreaking when you don't
Yes.
feel chosen.
No. Oh my God. And his words at the end, I just why we're on that. When he was trying to explain it, he said it was just better with someone else.
I
He said
know.
that.
I know. I was wondering why she didn't call him out on that. I would have said, you son of a bitch. What do you mean? It's better with somebody else. Ew.
Yeah, that was so bad. And my
He said it
thought,
again too, right? He said it
yes,
again
and
on the
right when he
stage.
said that, I was like, do you know what? the bottom line here, this is it. Theresa was better in bed. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, Theresa was better in bed.
But you know what I want to know? You know how they talk about all the tests they have to take? Like Jason went through the whole thing about how many of the psychological tests, interviews with counselors, and all this kind of stuff. Do you think they had these two picked together? Like, I wonder who they thought was compatible with all those tests because they have to do that. I would
Oh.
love to know that.
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I don't know. But like Jason said, they kind of have each person who has a role. This is going to be the possible villain. This is going to be the tweener. This is going to be this person.
Yeah.
So I think, with Theresa, she ebbed and flowed as a little bit of a villain. And
A
she was
little,
always, go ahead,
little bit of a bitch,
a little bit of a bitch, right? A little,
manipulator. Yeah.
yeah. And in the end, we really saw who she was actually, and we said this at the beginning, we don't know if she's dumb or if she's, as smart as a fox. And she's smart as a friggin' fox.
She is. And you know what? She manipulated the whole thing.
She sure did.
Yeah.
She sure did from day one. You got to give credit
Yeah.
to her. She knew how to, she played her game. She played a good game.
Yeah, she did play a game, but I don't want to be a game player like that. So to this, I say, I'm glad they ended up together.
I think they deserve each other.
They do.
I had a friend text me during it and said she thought the daughters made the ultimate decision for Gerry to choose Theresa. Do you
Really?
Yeah, I don't know about
I don't
that.
know, but I wouldn't want to be in that household either. All those girls, it'd be like that'd be tough.
I
And
was
they're and
wondering,
mama's gone, and yeah,
right. Like it all seems like love and wonderfulness now, but who knows what it's going to be like. Um,
they're gonna be saying, Theresa, you need to zip it. We've heard enough about Bobby. What was her husband's name?
Billy.
Billy. We've heard enough about Billy. You need to zip it.
She is going to be. Oh, so Kim, the other thing that you said at the beginning of this whole show, not today, the beginning, like 10 episodes ago, was that he's going to make the woman feel powerful, like she's in charge. But when they get on his turf, he's going to let them know who's in charge. And that goes back to what he did to that woman, quote unquote, Carolyn,
It
who moved
is.
in with him. He made it sound like, oh, come move into my lake house, blah, blah, blah. And oh, by the way, you need to pay me $1,000 a month.
Yeah. And she said he asked for like a full year before she finally moved in.
Really?
Yeah. He was like
Wow.
begging her.
So
So he was probably Mr. Nice Guy. Then he moves in and then it slowly starts coming out like, you can't go with me like that. You've gained 10 pounds. You look like shit. You got to pay me $850 a month. What else did he say that she probably didn't even?
But do you think he chose Theresa because A, their stories were very similar, B, she was madly in love with him, C, she made it probably very, very clear that she would move from New Jersey to Indiana, but because she seems to because she's still working, because she has an income, because she seems to have a pretty easygoing life and she knows a lot about money. She probably has a lot of investments. Her husband, I'm sure, left her in a pretty good situation. I don't know. I'm assuming all these things.
Let's go back to her
I mean,
husband.
she does look like she had a facelift. So, she's taking care of herself.
What is kidney failure? Is that what an alcoholic dies of?
No. That's kidney failure from like my dad had kidney failure, renal failure. So it could be from medications, high blood pressure, hypertension. Liver failure is usually what you get from alcoholism.
Okay. Well, so her husband died from kidney failure, which was probably a longer death, I'm thinking, right?
Yes.
Yes. But also, remember, she said this in an interview, and I thought it was really weird. He said, well, why don't you get a job and we won't have to pay for our insurance?
Right.
And I'm kind of like, wait, you're retired and you want your wife to go get a job to pay for insurance? That just is a little bit of a flag.
I
I
know,
don't know
didn't
why.
his job, I don't know what he did. Wasn't he in the same financial world as her, or no?
Yeah, yes, but he was retired. So he's paying out of pocket for their insurance, which is a lot of money. And maybe she was spending so much time doing her investment, he maybe said, why don't you just get a job?
Yeah,
But
it does seem a little weird. If he's retired, why would he want his wife to go to work?
just for health insurance to a full-time job.
You know, why doesn't he go and get a part-time job if he was retired? Why didn't he get a
Yeah. So
part-time
why didn't he
job?
get
Or
something with insurance? That seemed weird to me.
all right,
But
so there's
anyway, my point being, so maybe she had to work,
yeah, that's
and
okay.
that's fine. And maybe that's a good thing too, because Gary's going to want her to pay rent. But
And like,
also, I feel like she probably will line his ass out a little bit.
right. So that's why I wanted to bring that up. Instead of him being the person who lines up the woman's ass, I
Uh-huh.
think she's going to whoop his ass. I think
I hope
she's going to
she
be like, this
does.
is how it's down. Okay. So did you notice when she was talking towards the end that his mouth was moving weirdly?
Uh-huh.
What
I
was
don't
up with
know.
that?
It was like he was going, like he wanted to say something, but maybe Theresa was like, you better not talk.
It was like it was mimicking. It's like he was like a ventriloquist, right? It was. I did not understand what was going on there.
I didn't either. I was kind of like, that
I've
is
never
really
seen. I
weird.
thought, is he having a stroke? Like, what is going on? Or she did. He said like nothing. She
No,
was
she did take it. And then when she was like, I knocked his boots off, I was like, I knew it.
right, right.
Yeah.
And even with the proposal, I mean, we're giving all this stuff away, but that's okay. Even in the proposal, it was like, Theresa, are you proposing to him or are you gonna let him talk?
Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah.
You do a good impression of her.
So at the very beginning, one of the things he said was everything changed after our overnight about Teresa. That's why I was like, the whole thing is based on like that.
Do you really think so, though?
I don't know, but I did. I
I
wrote
think
on here.
Leslie was just too needy, unfortunately. I just think he saw too many. I think what it was is he saw, and he even says that tonight, he saw so many, any red flag that he might have had, he said Theresa did a good job of pointing them out, got rid of them before he
Yeah.
even had to bring them up. I think what he saw with Leslie, and you know I adore her,
Hmm.
I think what he saw with Leslie was a lot of red flags.
I think so too.
And you know, it is
And
what it is.
she said it at the very end, like, I knew this is how my life goes. She's kind of
I
got that little
know.
cloud over her head a little bit,
I
which I think is sad
know.
because she's so pretty.
I think she's waiting for somebody to save her. And ladies, you can't
Mm-mm.
find someone to save you. It doesn't work.
You
It
don't want him
doesn't.
to save you. Yeah,
No,
there's nothing that you can only save yourself from yourself.
that's right. She has to say, and I think at 64 or 65 years old, she's not there yet. I don't think she has figured out how
Some people
to
never
save.
do.
Right. And they're looking for the knight in shining armor to
Mm-hmm.
go, I'll save the day. And
Mm-hmm.
you know, yes, there are men out there, but those are the controlling men. Trust me, I know. Um, I've gone through a few relationships like that myself, so I understand. And it's very true. When you stop looking for somebody to save you and you save yourself, you are in a much better place.
You know what makes me that's all very true. And what makes me very sad about this article that came out about Gerry is one of my other friends that was texting me who's been single for a really long time. She was like, who do you think he's gonna pick? Blah blah
We need
blah.
to have your friend on the show because you talk about her all the time.
Well, this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
This one is a
Okay.
different one. And she said, and I said, he's gonna pick Theresa. And I think he's a love bomber. And I sent her that article and she goes, welcome to my dating pool. Like she doesn't
Oh,
really ever date anyone. She goes, this is what's out there. And I was like, that's what makes me sad because we know there's nice guys out there. We know there are. They're
are
just,
there?
you just, people just find them in weird places. It's not like on dating apps. It's kind of like you met yours at the wedding. He was in the band, like this kind of
Right.
stuff. And it's like, like I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine the dating pool. Like, ugh. But
It's
I
even hard for young people. I mean, our
yeah.
daughters live in New York and there are just people complain all the time about
No, and there's a much big like the dating pool in New York is a lot bigger than it is here. I feel
right.
like in these. I mean, we're not in that small of a town, but it's like everybody knows what's going on, and maybe in each town there's all these little cliques and stuff. But I remember my son saying it's just miserable dating. Like there's nobody out there, and I'm
Everybody
like,
says
are
that.
you kidding? I can walk around the cities and see all these pretty people. Like, have you guys gone nuts or something? But it just doesn't happen that way. It's
No, the best way to meet somebody is through a mutual friend
yeah.
or just when you least expect it. Like our mothers told us, well, you've known Joe forever, so it probably didn't really happen for you that way. But my mom used to always say, you'll meet your person when you least expect it, Jodi.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like,
No, I think it's true. And I think it's true like when you're the happiest, but I think you have to put
yes,
yourself out there in places where you like volunteering or being in this group or being in that group. The more people you meet outside of your little bubble,
yes,
like by doing things, the more people you're going to meet. That's just
yes.
that. I mean, get on some boards and you'll meet a friend of a friend of a friend. Like that's just,
Right. Go play pickleball, go
yeah.
do a co-ed thing, go away for a weekend, a hiking thing. And I agree with you. You have to put yourself out there. We talked about that earlier in the episodes. And
And I think it's harder for people to do since COVID, but that's why I think this show has been so good. So I hope the Gerry article doesn't put a damper on people going, "Oh, I had high hopes," and then even that guy turned out to be a jerk. you
yeah,
know?
yeah. Well, as you mentioned, we did interview Peggy and we're going to have her on the show in like a week or two that episode will air, and she was just so full of hope after being on the show, and she was only on for 2 episodes, but she felt so, I don't want to give too much away, but she just came away from the show having a better attitude about meeting people.
Yes. And she said Gary's a nice guy. So I think when you read an article like this, there's always two sides to a story. We didn't hear his side to that story.
Right.
So he may not be as bad as he's been portrayed. He
He
may
looked
be
frail. He looked frail tonight.
he did look frail tonight.
Do you think so too?
Yeah, and I even kind of thought in Costa Rica, you could kind of see like they have done such a good job with his hair and everything. But did you see back here? He kind of looked like he was balding and stuff, and they just didn't even cover it up. And I was like, is this the same guy that's been on the show this whole
I
time?
know. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
they all looked, we've talked about this, the hair. I felt so bad, especially for Leslie. Like that is exactly what my hair would look like if I was
Oh,
in Costa Rica and
Teresa's was terrible
somebody
too.
wasn't blowing out my hair like this. I mean, I would look exactly like that. No makeup. You would look
No,
perfect.
my hair would be completely flat, stuck to my head. I would look like a boy.
I mean, I felt so bad for their hair. I really
Yeah,
did. That was
it
just
didn't
so
look good.
unfair. But yeah, he looked frail. He looked tired tonight, but I wish them well. I thought Theresa looked beautiful.
It'll be interesting to see the wedding.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
So, okay, so
We
this
should
was what
start from the beginning. I know we gave
yeah.
away a lot in the
I
front,
I
but
wanted to say this one thing about Teresa needing to zip it. She really doesn't know when not to say things. When she was talking to his daughters and she was like, "Uh-huh, yeah, uh-huh, okay." She did that first. And then she went into how she liked him because he was kind and highly principled. And then she tells the story of him saying, "Do you want to lick the cupcake off my face?"
I
I was kind of like,
know.
"Okay, zip it. That's not appropriate to
That
tell
was
his
so
daughters."
inappropriate. Like, I don't know if she was trying to be cool, but that was dumb.
Dumb. It was dumb.
It was really dumb. But I think Gary's like that. He said some inappropriate things too, like when he said uh something about saying effing, and he said that was with
Oh,
an
oh,
exclamation mark, not a question mark. And I thought, Gary, cut it out. Stop trying
yeah,
to act really cool.
yeah. Especially in front of your kids.
Right. And your granddaughters,
Yeah, the
like
granddaughters were probably like,
they were like, oh, I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this.
but
All right. So if we go back to the beginning, we kind of gave you the end, but you know, it's the last episode. We could move around wherever we are, but um anything about that the beginning of the show where he talks to her? Okay, go ahead.
I think that to again, Theresa showed so much confidence in the weirdest times. And it was when she was talking to his daughters.
Mm-hmm.
She gets really confident in times, which makes me think when she's playing that mousy person, it's a ploy.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think the mousy person
And she gets this
is
look like, I just want to go, oh my God.
right. I don't think she was the favorite for anyone. Everyone I've spoken to, nobody liked her.
I know.
And I just, seeing them together, they look like they went together.
They did. And they did seem really happy. And she's going to be just all over him because she wants to have it be like that. That's good.
Yep. And
I thought if I could write down the notes of the things that she says to him, both of them, you go, oh, I should say that to Joe. You make it so easy to take care of you. It's so much fun to take care of you. Like, do I go around saying those things? No, but maybe I should.
I never say that. I might have said that to Frank when we were dating, but definitely not. Can you imagine?
Honey, you make it so easy to do everything for you. Oh my God.
Now take out the damn dogs, will you? Oh my God. No, maybe she's really that kind.
Maybe she is. I don't know.
I couldn't be that kind.
No. I
don't think I have it in me. I don't know. I mean, I am. I think we're both kind people, but that's just so corny kind. I don't know. Maybe when I'm 70, I'll be saying things like that. I do think that it helped that I think he would have liked a younger woman. I think he thought, "Oh, I'm gonna snag one of these 60-year-olds, right?"
Yes.
I'm gonna snag a young brunette, a sexy brunette that's wild, like Faith and Leslie. And at the end of the day, he did say, I always thought of Theresa as the safe choice. Did you remember him saying that?
Yes.
And that was like after he proposed to her.
But you know what? But I think, do you think that, well, no, she came out in her birthday suit. I was going to say, maybe she had a way of turning on that sex stuff when she knew he needed it. Like she could watch him with the other girls. I don't know.
Okay. So he does also refer to her as having a long lasting relationship because she was married for 43 years. To me, that would be very important to me. If I was married for 40 something years, widowed, I would want to look for somebody who had a similar story, somebody that I saw was married for a long time. And I think that's a huge plus.
Especially if you're 72.
Correct.
Yeah, you don't want to end up at 82 and single.
Right. And I also think that was a red flag with Leslie. So the red flag there is that she had been divorced twice. And that she said, that until death do us part is a little scary, but that's only like 20 years away.
If you're lucky.
For you, it's 30. For you, it's 30 or 40. For me, it's,
and see, I don't think it'd be
a few years on you.
When you're on a second marriage or a third, like in this instance, when you're meeting someone and you're making that decision in 3 months, you probably don't want one that's going to live to 90.
No, I mean, Frank's older than me, and I'm thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to take care of you? Oh, but yeah, that's what wait, you and Joe are the same age, or is he older?
He's 2 years older.
Oh, okay. That's nothing. You're basically the same age. But yeah, I was talking to a few
Actually,
people
he's 3 years older. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3.
Oh, he's my age? Wait, he just turned 63?
Oh my God.
No, he turned 62.
What year were you born?
60. Well, see, that's I was born in 1960, but I was born at the end of 1960. So I was born on December 27th. So it's like basically the whole year I go I'm a year behind. So I'm going to be 63 at the end of this year.
Okay. I think Joe was born in 61. Good God help me.
I know. Then he's,
so he's 62.
Yeah, that would make sense. Yeah.
Okay.
And what else from the beginning? Before we get into the daughters and so on.
This was bad. When he was talking to Leslie, and she was pretty much when they were sitting on the sofa after they met the family and all that,
Oh,
she
okay.
was saying all kinds of stuff to him. That's when she said, "You're easy to do nice things for," or whatever. He says to her,
Oh, that was
"Is
so
there
awkward.
anything else you want me to hear? Is there anything else you want me to hear?" I was like, "Okay, buddy."
I know. That's what I knew. And plus he had been when they went on the bench after she met his children, you could tell
Mhm.
that he just wasn't saying like what she needed to hear right then was I love you.
And he couldn't say it.
He didn't say it. He didn't want to say it. He just didn't want to. And you knew going into her room that night, yeah, when he started saying, is there anything that what did he say that
He
I need to
said, "Is
hear?
there anything else you want me to hear?
Yeah, that was
Like anything else
icky.
you can make me hear that I can change my mind because I'm God?" I don't know. I was just like,
Right.
"Ew." She was
I
really struggling. And he said, "Is there anything else you want me to hear?"
I know she was struggling. She was looking for something because she knew deep down that
Yeah.
he was breaking up with her,
Uh-huh.
that she wasn't going to be the one. And then when he left like a wimp, like, I gotta go. I need to go. I need to go. And he kept hugging her and she's looking at him. And you can tell by the looks of the audience that they're like, say it to her. Like, you know that she's not the one for you. Like, let her know. So I
Yeah.
am glad he went back in there and had the balls to do that. But I'm glad she gave him a piece of her mind and just said, you blindsided me. You did. How did you go from saying I love you less than 24 hours ago?
Yeah. I liked that she said all that to him. And I liked at the end when she was like, "No, you did lie to me." Yeah. She said, "You lied to me. Everything you said was a lie." And he said, "No, I felt that in the moment." And she said, "It was a lie," which was
Right.
good.
I mean, maybe he felt it in the moment when they were screwing, but still, and I'm sure I just felt so bad for her. I really did because she just gave him everything that she had.
Okay, so let's talk about that. When she was up there talking to Gerry,
Mhm.
so they kept showing the audience, and then the bachelorette's faces, all the other people that were on the show.
Yeah.
And sometimes they were really upset, and then sometimes they were like giggling and being a little catty, it looked like like that.
Mhm.
And kind of at the wrong time.
The ladies?
The ladies, yeah. Did you notice that? A
I
few times
did.
I was like, why is she whispering all the time? She should just probably just act upset right now.
Yeah, who was it? Was it Nancy and Kathy?
It was Kathy. No, it wasn't even Kathy. It was actually, oh my God, I just went blank. Who's the girl we love?
Susan
Susan.
and April.
No, it was just Susan. Oh, it was just Susan.
Was it?
She was kind of doing it more, but I think that they were just showing her at the wrong time. Like, because she would have that concerned look on her face too. But all the ladies were sort of talking a little bit.
Right, right.
Yeah. And
She did seem to be upset for Leslie
but
when
then
she
so,
was
almost a little giddy about it too. Like maybe there was a comment made that they were probably like, "What a dick" or something. I don't know.
right, right. I
But
think they
did you
was
see that April's going to be on the next one?
April, and I think was there a few other ladies from the
Oh, I don't know.
show?
I only saw April. I was like, "Oh, she gets to do her counseling."
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think there were a few other ones, but I'm not sure. But I was really happy to see that they're going to bring back some of the girls, like older generation, teaching the young ones. And I think
Yes.
that's a really great way to keep the golden people relevant throughout. And I was really surprised tonight that they did not announce a Golden Bachelorette. I
That's
really
what I
thought
thought
they
was
were going to
coming,
do
and
it.
instead they did the wedding.
Right, right.
Maybe
Somebody
they're
was
going to see how this wedding was. How many weddings have they shown through all the Bachelor history?
not many. Trista and her husband, Ryan, I
Mhm.
think his name is, they were there tonight. He was so cute. I remember watching that. And then Sean something and his wife, they're still together, really cute couple. Um, I don't know. I don't know
So
how
I'm
many more,
wondering
but
why they
remember
want to.
they get paid. They get paid to do
Yeah,
that.
but I was wondering why a lot of them did. Maybe a lot of them haven't worked out,
I don't
and they
know,
didn't
but
get
I bet you
married.
the reason they're getting married is because Teresa's like, Gerry, this is a good opportunity to make money.
Yeah,
I thought that
and
immediately.
we don't have much time, so to make this money to live
Right.
on.
She's like, let's go. Let's go. We're
Yeah,
going to make this money. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. And so she's going to be the brains behind the operation. And maybe his wife, Tony, was the brains behind the operation too.
Could be.
And maybe that's why he chose somebody like her.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tony was a tough motherfucker. I think she was tough.
Yeah. Do you think, after I read that article about Gerry, my first thought was was he a screw around? But I don't think he has that personality. I was kind of like,
I think he
so I
screwed
asked,
around. I think I think he got out there and he was dating a lot.
when she was still alive.
No,
Okay.
I think he was, I mean,
And maybe the whole situation with that girl, which I wish I'd never read the article. Maybe that whole situation was because he is so nice and he was, I don't know, I don't know.
I don't think, I think
I think there's something off about him. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, we're going to find out.
Yeah.
Because the truth always comes out. It always comes out.
But we want him to be the knight in shining armor that he is showing up to be. Not even the knight in shining armor, the fun-loving, nice guy that might be fun to live with for the rest of your life because you could always do stuff together and he seems really nice.
I think he is a nice guy. I think that maybe he's a little tough in relationships. I think that all the ladies who came off the show and said he was a great guy, we're going to be friends, we're rooting for him, all the ladies said we want you to be happy, but they always say that. I wouldn't have said that if he broke up with me.
Oh, I wouldn't either. I was kind of like, why are they being so nice?
I don't know.
I'd be like, you're a dick and you've just made a bad choice.
Yeah. And you just really humiliated me on national television.
Yeah. Because you lied to me.
Yeah.
She tried though. She said, you lied. That was a lie. You're a liar.
Right. So I was really happy that she did that. Do you think she would be a good bachelorette?
Well, so did you notice Joan was sitting in the front row?
I did.
In that red dress right in the middle?
Yeah.
Do you think that was a sign? Because I think a lot of people think it's going to be Leslie first and then maybe Joan.
Well, remember what Jason said to us? Or maybe he said this on his podcast, that when his ex-fiance was trying out, she was in the running for the Bachelorette, that she wore a black dress, or she says something about the fact that the next Bachelorette is always wearing a black dress.
Oh, who had a black dress on tonight?
I think Susan did.
Did Faith?
Sandra did. I don't think it's going to be Sandra.
Did Faith have on black?
I think she had red on.
There was a lot of red in the audience tonight.
Right. It's the color of the
Yeah,
season.
that's true.
April did not.
But
April was wearing red, I think. I think she had red or pink on. She wore some vibrant color.
Well, but a lot of young people, a lot of women wear black.
Yeah. So my point is that I don't think it was Joan. I don't know. I don't think I think they probably have they've got to have a few women in the running right now. I think they're trying to, I don't know.
But do you think that's why these women are posting so much stuff and doing different things?
Absolutely. So that's why when these young people, these millennials out there are watching it and they're going, oh, she's not on it for fame. Oh, bull. You know what? Yeah. What do you think they are? Dumb, deaf, and blind? Like, well, you and I are on Instagram and TikTok. Yeah. I mean, like, it's
they may not have gone in thinking it, right? But you can tell they kind of got the bug. I don't know about Nancy.
No, Nancy seems to be Nancy. I don't think Nancy cares. I don't think Nancy's trying at all. I think Susan's trying a little bit. April is definitely trying. Joan, big time. And I heard somebody on a podcast saying, what's up with Joan saying she feels invisible? Well, clearly not, since she's like doing all these TikToks. And, you know, that's fine. But I think they really are. They're like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I want to be the next Golden Bachelorette. And good for them. I say, go for it, ladies. Go put out your best.
But see, but even Peggy said the same thing. I think they all probably got that thing where they're like, I can do it now. I've done this. I put myself out there. I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. They have so much more confidence. All of them. except for poor Leslie right now. That's going to take her a while to get back to that, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sure something wonderful is going to happen for her.
Well, when do you think they interviewed each other? Like, when was the live show watching that show? After Thanksgiving.
Tonight.
Wait. Oh, because it was live.
Yeah, tonight, because it
But
was
I didn't know if
live.
that was recorded another time. No?
Yes, it probably was.
So, but it was after
It's
Thanksgiving, obviously, because he said over Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah.
So I was just, what was I think? What was the point of that?
Wait,
The point of that, the
maybe it
point of
really,
that
really
was,
was live. I think it's really, really live. I think,
okay.
right, like they taped it at 5 o'clock at night. It went out,
Okay.
went on at 8. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Okay. So the point of that is, Jason told us that when you leave that situation, it all becomes very clear quickly.
Yes.
So when did they stop filming that? A long time ago? Have they had to be quiet that whole time?
Yeah. They're usually quiet for like, I think 2 or 3 months
That's a long time.
because they've already filmed Joey.
Oh, yeah.
Because Joey's coming out in January. So I heard Jesse on another show and, filming's been wrapped up. Like they already know, like that's done.
Yeah,
So-
but why did they wait so long after they filmed this one? Because then people can't, like, they can't go out in public together because it would give it away.
Right. None of them can.
But don't you think clearly? So he said, when you leave, it becomes very clear. Yes, I thought I loved her, but now that I'm out of there, in hindsight, I didn't.
Right. So they've already had, say, 2 months.
Yeah. So Leslie may have thought, even though she cried, and when she saw him, she may have thought, yuck, I'm glad that was a good, but she didn't act that way, really. She really did act like she loved
the
him.
feelings were still very raw. They were still really, really raw. And I was
For
glad
her,
to see that. Yes.
he seemed like he was just checked out.
Oh, he was totally checked out. He was
Yeah.
checked out when she was crying in the hotel room.
Yeah.
He was not into it. He's like, giving her a pat like a pal.
Yeah, I gotta
Like
go.
he was like, I
hon.
gotta get out of here.
Mhm.
I mean, you know what it's like when you break up with somebody. You feel terrible because you're hurting somebody's feelings that you do care about, but you're like, I gotta get out of here. Like I'm done. Right? Even if it's a friend, you might be done.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking about that. But like in that situation, he kind of brought it upon himself.
I did think he led her on.
Yeah.
And that's really too bad. That's
That
really
is
too
too
bad.
bad.
So I hope they do, like, they give her an opportunity to be the Golden Bachelorette to like redeem herself, not redeem herself, but
Find her man
find her man
and get her confidence.
Yeah. But she
Yeah.
may, who knows if she would even want to do it. She might say, yeah,
True.
nah. Because you know what? Maybe they can't find these men. Maybe they can't find 22.
I don't think they can
Men.
find 22 men who are not either egotistical or full of shit.
Well, they're going to find those.
I mean, I hope they're going to find those for sure.
Mhm.
I hope they can. I mean, there are 22 guys out there, but they're not going to want to be on The Bachelor.
Right. They have to find 22 guys that pass all of these tests
Mhm.
and want to be on the show.
Yeah. And I don't mean
And-
that about the young guys. I think they go in and it's kind of fun. If they find their person, that's great. But I'm saying these older people,
Mhm.
if you're going to find a whole, and Jason thought we were wrong on that. He said, no, there's, everybody wants to put their stuff out there. I'm kind of like, not at our age. We really don't.
No, we really
Yeah.
don't. And you know what? Oh, there was something that I wanted to mention to you. Leslie says time's running out. She says that a few times.
Yeah.
Time's running out. Time's running out. And
That made me sad for her.
Made me very sad for her too. Because
But that attitude is not good because it kind of makes her desperate.
it's the scarcity mindset versus
Mhm.
an abundance mindset. And you reap what you sow, you get what you think. It's so maybe, and that's why I'm saying I think she needs to still do some healing.
Yeah, you're right.
And not look for a man to save her or for a man to complete her. And I think she's been single for so long because she was single for a long time. So maybe
And she's already gone through, and she said she's been married twice, so she's gone through 2 divorces.
Right. I really do hope that she finds the man that's right for her. She does deserve it. And I hope she realizes that she starts believing that,
It
because
just seems like
everybody.
it's so hard to find people. Like, I hate that it's that hard to find people. It just is. For all ages, you're right. For all ages, it's just hard to find your match.
Well, do you think that with age you become more closed-minded?
Yes and no, because I think you may become more closed-minded, but you also have more. I think I'm more understanding, have more empathy instead of like, oh well, screw you, I'm not dealing with that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, instead of immediately like, not dating him. Like,
Right.
yeah. But I do think that it's like there's a lot more married people or deceased people, as opposed to when you're younger, everyone was single at first.
Right.
And so now they're all just still a lot of single people.
And I think that you could have the mindset of, look, I've dated, I've been married twice, three times, whatever it is. I am just going to live the life that I want. And if somebody comes into my life, great, but I'm going to keep living my life. I have my standards, I have my deal breakers. This is what I'm looking for. But I think even if you have that mindset, you have to be a little bit flexible, because the person that you think you're going to meet is usually not the person who comes into your life.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's like going out there and thinking, I'm going to meet my husband tonight. I'm going to meet my husband tonight. And you never meet that guy, right? When you would
Yeah.
go out to a bar or a club or something like that.
Yes, but also, do you think, okay, so, and I wrote this on here because it drives me nuts how he says it, but maybe it's part of his thing. You know how Gerry always says, I can just see this picture of us living together and us doing, and he specifically says these things he can see
Mm-hmm.
them doing together, like he's visualizing it. And then, but he is visualizing, like that guy told me at Canyon Ranch. I told you what he said about, don't describe the perfect partner that you want. Describe the partner that you want to do things with, how you would do things, as opposed to, I want someone that's tall, good looking. Remember? So
Yeah,
Gerry kind of does that. Like, he says he's picturing in his mind what they're doing.
I
And
love that.
yeah, maybe that's kind of, because I was thinking he's always picturing shit in his mind and he's always talking about it. So
Right.
then
But
he puts it out there.
so both of them have, what they share also is that abundance mindset.
Yes. I do think Theresa showed a little more personality towards the end and did seem more happy and bubbly.
On the show tonight.
Yes.
Oh yeah. She was just really
Gloated, or
confident.
she could have been gloating.
I don't think she was.
I don't think she was either. She did seem smitten with him.
She did.
Yeah. Like, I don't think I'm not a giddy person. I was never someone that was like giddy and, oh, all in love like that. Like, that just wasn't me. But
I'm not
so
like that either.
it was kind of cute to watch somebody do that that's older, because maybe you see younger people do it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't like PDA at all. That's not my thing.
It, at the rate, I definitely like it, but not, it depends on the place and,
Yeah.
all of that other stuff. Like, I've never in front of my kids or anything like that. But no, I
Yeah.
thought they were really appropriate, and they did seem to be on the same wavelength, and it just seemed to
Hmm.
make sense. But I do think they're getting married really quickly. So
What do
he
you
does,
think's up with that?
I think I think that she just wants to make sure that this is a sealed deal.
Signed, sealed, and delivered
Yep. And I wonder if there's going to be a prenup. I wonder if she's going to have a prenup.
for him.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who holds more money, but, or maybe they just say screw it. But I would think at this point they should, I don't
If
know.
you have, if you've only known someone for 3 months, a prenup's not even, I mean, like, you can't even be offended if someone asks you for a prenup. If you've known them
Right.
for less than a year.
Right. And you've accumulated wealth,
Yeah,
and you don't know, you meet them on a reality show. I mean, I would have a prenup,
I would too.
right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
just to protect yourself. And I mean, he's a businessman. He should understand that. She understands money. They should understand it. And I wonder how wonderful this lake house really is.
Yeah.
Like, if it's really a beautiful spread.
I kind of thought about that too, because of where it is, like just the whole, did we see it at all? We didn't, did we?
We never really saw a lot of it. We just saw him looking out at the lake
Oh yeah, okay.
and like in a living room or something like that. But we never really saw like if the house was really big. And I get it. Maybe they don't want to put that on national TV. I get it. But anyone could probably Google Gerry Turner, Indiana, and find his house, right? The way things are right now.
Yeah.
It's a little, but I think they're getting married because they are older. And I think she did say that. We're getting married because we don't have a lot of time left. Like I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Such a sad thought. It's
It
just a
is a
sad
sad
thought.
thought, but it's a
Yeah.
happy thought to think that they found love,
Yeah, that is a happy thought.
and if they stay married, which I think they will,
Mm-hmm.
because they believe in commitment. And
So I do think at their age, because I did see this with a friend who the mom got remarried at an older age, and then they were both kind of needing some assistance a little bit,
oh, really?
but the other family wasn't helping at all because they lived in another state. So it was kind of like all on one person's paycheck and everything. And they're like, and hey, we're not taking care of your dad. You can come pick his ass up because we've got to
Oof,
take care of my mom. Like, seriously, that's a thing. So you
I
would probably have
know.
to go, I think you have to have your paper going, this is going to take care of me in my old age, and this is going to take care of you in your old age.
I think so. And that's a difficult conversation to have, but
Well, I mean, you
me,
got to, because you don't want to be a burden to their kids or their kids, right? Like, I'm not taking on him and I'm not taking on her.
and maybe that was again another conversation they had in the overnight. Besides getting more intimate, maybe these are all the things that
Oh,
made
you're
Gerry
right.
feel
Because
okay.
she knows to have those conversations, whereas I don't think Leslie does.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, I hate to speak for Leslie because that feels so icky, but we're doing a recap show and we're assuming some things. But I agree. And I think she raised a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
And if maybe he wasn't, look, he's 72 years old. Does he want to take care of somebody who doesn't have any money or doesn't understand? I'm not saying that that's her, but from what we see and what he seems to want, it seems like that's, she removed all the red flags he possibly had. And
Yeah.
we did see a change in the whole relationship when she told him what she did for a living, and then they went to the overnights. The whole thing changed.
True.
The whole thing changed. And when Leslie said what changed, that's what that's what it
Yeah,
was.
that is what changed. You're right. It was exactly after that. But that conversation about what she did, and boy, she just lit up like a Christmas tree and got very
Mhm.
confident about her job and everything. And you're right. She probably did get rid of every fear he ever had about, like, I can't get married and take care of somebody else and put that burden on my kids.
Right. Right. I want to take care. I want to leave enough money for my kids. I want for my grandkids. And I'm not going to have to, I'm not going to have to go into my retirement to take care of this woman who
Yeah.
might get sick or blah, blah, whatever it could be. But I think,
Who I may only know for 10 years.
right.
She
And
may
I've only
be,
known for 2 months.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Right. So I think that there's a lot versus if we compared it to the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, they're in their 20s. They have the next 70 to 80 years left to
yeah.
figure all this stuff out. So it sounds like it was a logical choice, a safe choice,
And
and
one that helped him know how it was going to impact his kids.
his life. And I think
Yeah,
that you have to think like that,
you do.
because I was listening to somebody talk about um, marriage hacks. And one of the things they said, it's not about love. Of course, there's love in the marriage, but it's not about love. It's a business. And, would you do this to your business partner? Would you do that to your business partner? And especially as we get older, understanding how our life is going to be in the next 20 or 30 years is very, very important, because we don't know if we're going to get sick tomorrow. Whereas when
No.
you're in your 20s or 30s, you're like, I'm invincible, right?
Mhm.
So it just seems to make more sense. And I think that's what changed. And you know what? It would have been nice if he said to Leslie, I'm going to tell you what changed, Leslie. I
It
felt
would have that, you know what? God, you're right. Every woman in America and man would be like, hallelujah. He said it.
right. And he was like, "Nyeh, nyeh, nyeh," like he was doing a Theresa. And what he should
Yeah.
have just said was, the great mediator, Gary Turner, like
Yeah.
the great mediator. I thought he sucked at mediating anything in the last 2 days. And why didn't he where's the integrity, Gare? Like, tell her what it was. Look, I feel
Yeah.
that Theresa is financially stable. She has retirement. She's been in a long lasting relationship for 43 years. She has a deceased husband. All of those things mean a lot to me. And I feel like that's why we would be better partners. Boom, done.
Well, and also add in the part about she understands all this financial stuff that we're getting ready to go through. Like, who's going to take care of who? Who's what is each other's money going to do? Like that right there would be a big head thing for a lot of people. Like, Leslie needs to know that for her next spouse. He would have helped her out.
Right, right. And one more thing that I heard from, I was listening to Nick Vial's podcast, and he talks about the 3 Bs.
Mm-hmm.
And I always screw them up. There's the bedroom, the broom, and the bank.
Oh yeah.
And bedroom,
We get
okay, we
broom
get broom
helping out
is
around the house.
yes.
Okay.
And bank is bank.
Yeah.
I think that's what the B stood for. And I think if you have all 3 of those, it could work. And it sounds like they do.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a good point.
We will find out. But this was a great finale.
It was a
Kim,
great finale.
I've loved doing this with you.
I did too. This was so fun.
We are going to continue doing We're Golden. And hopefully there'll be a Golden Bachelorette and we'll be able to recap that. But this has been really, really fun. By the way, we record this after the show. So it is now 11. It's 11:30 on the East Coast. And I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired too. And it's been a long day, and that was a lot of information in that show.
It was. Do you have any last words to say to our listeners? I'm putting you on the spot here.
No, just thank you for listening. I hope they enjoyed all the commentary on it. Like everything that we thought. Like, I think a lot of people our age probably do. I wonder, I mean, it's been fun doing this to talk about it because I think it's such a huge thing to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that young people kind of I hope everyone gets out of the Golden Bachelor and this article doesn't squash it. All the good things that could come out of it.
I don't think it will. I think people are smart enough to pull the things from it.
Yeah.
And as Theresa so eloquently said, that the show was a cultural movement.
Mm-hmm.
Even that was such a great
that was a great line. Yeah, right? It was.
The show is giving hope, and it's become a cultural movement. And I truly agree with her.
Do you think she said that, or they gave her that to say?
No, I think she really said that. I don't think they give them lines to say.
You don't?
No.
Because they got to be promoting this.
Yeah, I don't really. We've got to start following Theresa's page a little bit more.
Okay.
So we will be back next week with our interview with Peggy from Connecticut, the dental hygienist who stayed for 2 episodes, and she's just a perky 70-year-old, such a doll, and we had such a great time talking to her. So you guys have to tune in for that. And make sure that you follow Kim at Content Kim. I'm at Jodi Harrison Bauer, and check us out on YouTube at We're Golden. It's been so much fun talking to people on YouTube, and we'd love to hear your comments. So DM us. Wherever
it is fun to talk to people in the comments, all the things that people say. It's really interesting to hear their thoughts.
Yeah, we'd love to know what you thought of us, recapping the show and what your thoughts were. And we really want to continue with this. So thank you so much for listening to We're Golden. And until next week, stay golden, everybody.
Stay golden.
Bye.
Bye.